Over the course of 3 Amphibia seasons, there have been many situations that had us on the edge of our seats, believing something terrible has happened, or wondering what things would be like if another horrible thing had not occurred. Would the show's ending be even happier, or a complete nightmare? What if humanity took control of the Calamity Box? Andrias and the Core thought they had it all, and would soon be ruling over the entire multiverse like they always imagined they would. It never even crossed their minds they'd get defeated by teenage girls and a bunch of frogs. But here we are. Andrias' spirit is broken and the Core without a vessel. All seems well, and the girls intend to drop the frogs off in Amphibia before finally returning home after all these months. However, the FBI is still there. Even though they cooperated with Anne to stop the invasion of Earth, there's no way they'll just let Anne go. Drained from the battle, Anne, Marcy, Sasha, Andrias, and the other amphibians can't avoid being taken into custody, and the Calamity Box ends up in the hands of Mr. X and the US government. Keep in mind that the Core went into hiding and is not apprehended by any government officials. Now, what would the FBI do in this situation? The first instinct is to cut the amphibians up and study them. Luckily, this can be avoided due to some convincing from the girls claiming that the amphibians are biologically like regular amphibians, with some minor changes in their brain and bone structure. But more importantly, after some questioning, the FBI quickly learns about Amphibia, and intending to go there in the future, they decide to keep the amphibians safe and sound, wanting them to serve as their guides when entering unknown territory. Consequently, the US government begins preparing for their arrival in Amphibia. The thing is, their expectations are a bit off, as they believe Amphibia is an actual threat to humanity. Why is that? Well, evidently, Earth was on the brink of an invasion just now, with Andrias showing off all this fancy Calamity Box technology, especially weaponry. Why wouldn't they believe there's more where this came from? On one hand, Anne and the Plantars try their best correcting this image, explaining that most amphibians are harmless and that their society is extremely inferior to humanity, thus does not pose any danger at all now that Andrias and the Core are defeated. On the other hand, the fact that Grime and Sasha keep threatening the FBI, the Toad Army would make stew out of them if they attacked, does not help their case. Accordingly, the FBI and the military prepare for full-on confrontation. Therefore, they spare no means, pumping trillions of dollars into researching the Calamity Box and the gems. In the subsequent months, they improve the Calamity weapons, repair and level up the castle, and probably also create other unimaginable gadgets based on the Calamity powers. In the meantime, obviously, a Russian undercover spy gets his hands on top-secret insider information about the projects. And the way fate wants it, the Core, that was watching everything the whole time, only waiting for a chance to strike, sniffs out the spy and builds a relation with them. Though they do not have the means to possess the spy as of now, they easily manipulate him into cooperating, promising knowledge and power. As a result, the Core are taken to Russia, where they direct the Russian government's actions in order to counter the Americans and secure the new technology. I mean, of course they want it. Forget about nukes. This new stuff is just as destructive, but its use does not throw the entire world into a nuclear winter. This is the new generation of weapons. However, in reality, the Core also make them unknowingly build a device allowing them to take people over again. Before you know it, the Core is officially controlling the entire country. Maybe that's what's happening right now. From that point on, the Russians wage an undercover war on the Americans. Or in other words, the Core is desperately trying to regain control over the Calamity Box. Simultaneously, the US finishes up preparing and enters Amphibia. Sooner or later, they'd probably also want to invade all the other worlds the Calamity Box connects to, but we'll just focus on Amphibia here. Indeed, a handful of brave amphibians would attempt resisting, not wanting to give up their autonomy again right after Andrias being defeated. Yet, you can probably imagine there's no way of successfully opposing such military might. Hence, the US swiftly takes stewardship over Amphibia. I don't think I need to elaborate in detail why the US bringing their freedom to other countries is usually not a peaceful, happy-go-lucky process. And let's not forget about the elephant in the room. Humanity is easily enticed by power. The US would basically wind up indulging in the same evil business as Andrias and his ancestors, invading one world after another to liberate them. Oh, and it wouldn't stop there, exploiting their resources, abducting and dissecting unknown species, as well as forcing them into slavery, or eating them. Looking back on our own history, there's no denying this is exactly what would happen. Anyway, that's future talk, and would occur after the war for the Calamity Box is over. I do not believe, or at least I hope, that no full-on war breaks out on Earth. Instead, the likely alternative is that the Corps learn the box has returned to Amphibia and personally infiltrate the institution housing the permanent portal to Amphibia. Area 51 maybe. This is the Corps' greatest chance to retrieve the box. Some Russian soldiers they brought along distract the US soldiers installed on the other side of the portal, giving the Corps the chance to activate the moon. Simultaneously, the US government receives a warning from Russia. Either they hand over the box or Amphibia will be reduced to nothingness. The Corps does currently not really intend to erase Amphibia. They are just trying to force the humans into giving up the box. And they are 100% convinced this will work, because based on their knowledge of humans, it for the main part stems from their experiences with Anne, Sasha, and especially Marcy, they are convinced humans value life more than anything, thus won't sacrifice all the amphibians only to hang on to the box. Obviously, that's a big mistake. Here's what really happens. The United States evacuate their troops and close the permanent port. As a consequence of their plan failing and them actually having misjudged a situation, the Corps do go through with destroying Amphibia. And there is indeed no saving the planet this time. Valeriana and Mother Rome probably tried convincing the humans to use the secret spell. But here's the thing, the powers would be gone after that, saving some lizard people and giving up the greatest power ever discovered, or full domination of the multiverse. I wonder what the government would choose. So yeah, Amphibia and the Corps are goners for good. If they got lucky, the Plantars have been taken back to Earth. But all in all, this is quite the shitty situation. Humanity will never cease arguing about the box, all while continuing to invade all the other worlds out there. Subscribe to Frogtunes for more what ifs and Amphibia content.